Of course, we said house guests, but our house guest is, well, normally we have it on a Wednesday. We have that special episode today. All right. This morning we'll be here, but there's so much happening in Soufriere, so much you don't know what. Even me has been left in the dark for a little bit. All right. In a nutshell, I got a little snippet. Not even a nutshell. That's a little snippet I got. All right. But this morning here with me we have JD. Of course, known to most as Junior Dennis, aka Blast. You guys know him as a police officer. But he's here this morning under another umbrella. Alright? Of course, he's one of the free coaches coaching some of our best there is in Soufriere. Of course, the team goes by the name of Soufriere Kings. Yeah, I don't know why that, yeah, Soufriere Kings. Alright, so he's here with us this morning to tell us of course, how it first started, where it started, why is it fitting to actually come up with this kind of vibe, you know, help up the youth of today, or even those in age as well. So, without further ado, let me welcome you, Mr. Dennis. Welcome inside Soufriere 88.5 FM. Of course, you're no stranger, but like I've been mentioned, the different spotlight and a different umbrella you had this morning. Bonjour.
Thank you very much. Good morning to the people of Soufriere. Good morning to each and every one. I'm here on behalf of, like the host said, the Soufriere Kings basketball side. We currently engage in a national competition. That is what would be you can call it our black hat competition of basketball right now. So we've been having some success, and we found it necessary to come brief the community on what's going on, and also, I guess by the time they get updated on what's going on, we expect them to fully commit to supporting us. It's almost like the Soufriere football vibe right now. So we just want to share this information this morning with everyone.
But Junior, I had no idea there was a basketball side, a basketball team. And of course, you guys even have a name, because most times you go in the Soufriere side.
Well, the name changed. It used to be, I think it used to be Sulphur. You know, so we changed it to Soufriere Kings. At a point in time, basketball did die in Soufriere. To be honest, there was not a changing of the guard, and what you found was that the sport just dwindled. And then I have to give credit to where credit is due. It is due to persons like Lincel Alsey, Clayton William, we know as SpongeBob, also Coach Antoine, we know as Docus. These are the three persons that were really instrumental. They started with the young guys. And then they got the interest going again and again and again, to the point right now that we actually have an excess of eligible players who play on the Soufriere side.
Right. You sent me a message yesterday. You sent it to me. I don't know, the timer was on or something.
Okay. All
right on your phone. So is it well received by the youngsters?
Oh, I must say it is very well received. Let me talk about the competition now, and then we'll get into the history of where we came from.
Okay, well, good.
Currently, like I say, we are engaged in a national tournament. It is the only national tournament so far every year for basketball in St. Lucia. So you can consider it the black hat of tournaments.
Okay.
So although most of the teams are from up castries, but you do have teams from other communities, and we've been partaking in this competition year after year.
Okay, very nice, because you hear more about football in Soufriere.
Well, basketball used to be a popular sport, likewise, because you remember it was the trifecta of football, basketball, and netball.
Was it netball?
Netball.
Yeah, netball.
So you find that football is doing really well. I mean, we felt really good as to how our guys performed, and they do have the support of the community behind them, and I think we catching up a little bit.
The reason I asked you this question minutes ago, sometimes persons in regards to discipline, when it comes to training and showing up and all that, persons tend to be a little bit laid back, and when is the big show, everybody wants to come and show. So tell us about that. I know you've been through that.
I think discipline is one of the issues. I won't say it's just a Soufriere problem. I think it's just an island-wide problem. I think in all the sports we have that issue, but in basketball we do have that as an issue. But that is why we're trying to change the culture right now. And I think that's very important, changing the culture. So when we decided to take part, like I said, I must give credit to the guys who are, especially guys like Clayton William, who are really pushing, especially with the St. Lucia Basketball Association, to get things going.
Yeah, I heard he's doing very good.
A lot of work, very good work. I must commend him for the work that he's done so far. So he was one of the major persons pushing, and then I guess he didn't give up, and he decided to run with the vision, and then he started picking up persons along the way, like myself. Like I said, Mara, most persons know him as Mara, and then Coach Antoine. So we decided to change the culture, and it was a very difficult thing to do. Because especially in sports, when you find you have competitive young men, ego is always an issue. And man, it's a learning process. It's so difficult to coach egos. But then you want that ego because that is part of the competitive nature, especially men.
Everybody want to be a star.
Yeah, you want that ego, because at the end of the day, if you have a team, let's say a basketball team, it's made up of 12 active players, 5 on the court at some point in time. Your remaining 7 on the bench, you want them competitive. You want them competitive to the point that it creates positive growth, that they decide, okay, I'm going to sit and work on my game so that I can take the job from one of the starters. That's how it's supposed to be. So you on the bench, you're supposed to be working on your game, because there's a reason that you're on the bench. You're not good enough yet. You're supposed to be working on your game so that you could take the seat from one of the starters. And that's just a positive thing, because it will push the starters now to improve even further. And that's a positive for everyone. Right. So discipline, was a big issue. I can say it still is, but it's a learning process. Okay. And you have to understand the guys are young. They get in there. And the good thing, we have a good balance on this team. We have senior players, a good balance of senior players. We have a good balance of, I would call them mid-range players. And then we have some newer players. So we have a good balance on this team. So when Clayton and guys like Ross every afternoon will be having training with these guys, Coach Antoine. And Coach Antoine, majority of these players actually started under Coach Antoine at Soufriere Compre. Sure. So it's basically the house that Coach Antoine built, to be honest, if I'm being honest about it. Right. And then along came guys like Linzel and then guys like Clayton that really held the baton. And then I must say they got it to a good place that everybody else was like, hey, something is going on, and let's all get involved. Because initially I was considering playing for the side, but then when I look at the wealth of young talent, I'm like, that's not right. That's not right.
Give somebody a break.
Yeah.
Give somebody a break.
So initially at the beginning, when we put the team together this year, we didn't really have a coach per se, because Coach Antoine had some other things that took priority at the time, very important things in his life, and we would have loved to have him as the head coach, but I mean, it didn't happen. Okay. So I was actually supposed to be more like an interim coach, kind of, but then, I decided, let me give it a shot. It's worth giving your time to these things, and even at the beginning, to be honest, I wasn't really taking it that seriously, and then my wife pulled me up and said, nah, if you commit to something, you got to commit to it, and kudos to her, kudos to her, I must say. So I decided, something, she is correct. I committed to it, so let me go all the way in continuing to commit to it. I mean, it's not been easy. I mean, it's been a learning experience for me too. It's difficult. Like I said, it's very difficult to coach young men. But the important thing about sports and basketball is that the lessons you learn there, it will translate to every other aspect of your life. Nice. Because if you work hard, you will always see results. If you do it the right way, you'll always see results.
Well said, man. Well said. And we should use that as the thought of the day. You work hard, you will see results. Yeah. Nice, very nice. We're talking about the competition. What is it slated for?
Oh, the competition is actually well underway, It's 8 teams. We've already played 5 matches so far. We are undefeated. I think our lowest score in terms of win difference is 16 points. So the least we've won by is 16 points. But I must be honest, the 5 teams that we face are not the 5 best teams in the competition. Oh, yeah? They're not. Tough. The remaining 2, that would be Bontier. That's actually the defending champions. Right. Again, they have a very good mix of very experienced national players and former players. And then you have Mon will be playing tomorrow. Also a very good team, very balanced team. So this is why I found it necessary to come here today, because we're going to need the home crowd. We're going to need the support. If weather permitting, the weather holds, we will be having Mon tomorrow. I think it's going to be a double header. So there's another 2 teams that's going to play before us. I think we should have the later game.
Repeat the venue?
Soufriere basketball court.
Right.
Yeah.
You know that's always something. Eh?
Yeah.
That is I can't remember your guys having tournament and it has lapsed.
Yeah, because what really killed us was COVID. As COVID destroyed a number of things. Because a lot of people don't know. I use the word black art. Black art was actually supposed to start a national basketball tournament.
Oh, nice. With Christopher Shakespeare?
Yeah, they were supposed to start that. And I remember we had meetings with them prior to COVID. It was COVID that derailed that. the KFC is the KFC national tournament we've been having every year. But Blackheart wanted to get into it because, like I say, basketball is pretty popular too because even some footballers play basketball. I mean, they cross over. It's one of these, you can cross over from one to the other without much issue. So they were actually supposed to have a Blackheart basketball tournament. But I don't know whether plans for that, whether or not they're going to revive it or what they're going to do. But basketball has always been a pretty popular sport in Soufriere. And I remember as a young boy coming to the court for national basketball tournaments, and every community had a team. I remember watching guys like Ryan and Ricky and Lou and Shas and all these fellas, Dundee, all these fellas play for Soufriere basketball team. I remember that as a child.
Almost every Sunday. I don't know if they still do it.
Yeah, they still do that. And these guys, you may not see. I mean, of course, as with age, they've lost the physical abilities. But if you're a student of the game and you stand and you watch them play, you can just see the knowledge. They're just overflowing with knowledge of the game. And how the game is supposed to be played. Because I always tell guys, most sports are pretty simple, Some things are just pretty simple to play. Sometimes we make it difficult. But, I mean, if you can bring everything up down to its simplest level, then better for you.
Okay. With everything else, there's something called resources. Do you guys have the resources you need? From gears to, the simple things?
I must say we do. This year has been good for us. Well, anyway, I'll leave that point for last. We do have a number of persons who have contributed to the team. For sure, the district rep has contributed a considerable amount of funds to the team. We have Shoppers Choice. We have the Fonseca Credit Union that has also contributed to the team. The current uniforms we play in actually have Anne Chastney and Jade Mountain on it, but we've yet to contact them, so they've been getting a lot of free advertisement for us, especially with the team that's actually on top of the table right now in the competition, which is not always a good thing because when you're at the top, you actually the hunter and everybody's coming for you. So our current uniforms are, labeled as Anchasne, although they're not officially a sponsor, but let's give Jack his jacket. Anchasne has been a staple when it comes to supporting sports in Soufriere, so I guess they will be hearing from us soon. But we expect them as usual. It's always the case with them. They've always supported almost every initiative in Soufriere, and we must commend them for that. So like I said, Fonseca Credit Union, the current district rep, we have Shoppers Choice on the Palm Beach Road. And forgive me if I am missing anyone. I was actually supposed to speak to the manager about the complete list of sponsors. But if there's someone here that I missed out, it's my apologies. Okay.
Quickly, if there's somebody listening right now and they want to make some kind of sponsorship, how do they go about doing that? Okay,
right now, like I said, the good thing is that we had very little structure. But what we did right now, we've already opened a bank account at the Fonseca Credit Union in the team name. So Soufriere Kings at the Fonseca Credit Union, if you want to make a contribution to the team, you could go there and say you want to make a deposit on that account, because we wanted accountability is another thing we really tried to bring into place. We didn't want we just didn't want a team that was just operating. We wanted things to be structured, because sometimes when people want to sponsor you, they expect accountability, they expect structure, and we have to be accountable for every dime that we are given. We don't want it to be a situation. I mean, we know the history of some sporting organizations that nobody knows where the money went to and all that, and it's so easy for people to accuse you of taking monies and whatnot. So we didn't want that mess. So we got structure. We have an account there, so that if you want to make a contribution, whatever we do with that, it will be coming out, and there will be accountability for that. But I must speak to, actually, you talk about how it started. It was pretty difficult to start. I'll be honest with you. Last year, we actually went out in the semi-final round, and there were a lot of issues that myself and the other coaches, we looked at, and we were like, now there's too much. There was too much indiscipline. We had within the team, we had a couple of players that had a lot of difficulty with actually aligning with the purpose, because it's not about you. That's the great thing about team sports. It's not about you. It's about the team, and sometimes you have to sacrifice a lot. And I must say, we all have sacrificed, especially because, like I say, I will give credit where credit is due. You have Dorcas, you have Linzel, you have Clayton. These guys have sacrificed a lot, and all they did was just set the example for us. So we had a couple of players that, and I must say now, if they're listening, they are not banned from the team per se, the program, but we're saying we will welcome you back. I mean, as long as you're willing to work, because everything is about structure and
positive change.
positive changes. You know, everything is about structure, and I always use my work as an example. I don't always agree with what my supervisor asks me to do, but there is a process, there is a way you go about doing it because you want to maintain team cohesion. You want the team to remain together and to be on the same page. So we had a lot of battles at the beginning when it comes to that. So we had a couple of players that we had to say, I think it's not about you, it's about the team, and then we'll welcome you back because, like I say, there's so many players. We're actually going to be starting a B team because what you find happening is that we have so many good players on the A team, and we have good players also on the bench, and even players that cannot even make the team because we have so many. So we decided, you know something, we're going to open a B team. So that way, these guys will get a chance to develop likewise. And if they can develop to the point that they could actually replace players on the A team. So now you have a continuous flow of players coming in, and the team, the sport will only get better. So at the beginning, it's really hard to change culture, I must say, especially when persons are accustomed to doing things a certain way. We got a lot of pushback from players. Well, it's a balancing act also because we're not always right.
True.
You know, it's not because you're the coach that you're always right, or the free coaches are always right. So we really had to find a balance between, okay, this needs to change, or okay, let's hear from you, and can we compromise on this and compromise on that. And at the beginning, it was pretty difficult. But then, more and more, I think the guys started catching up to the vision and starting to understand that it's not about them, and it's about, because can you imagine at the beginning of the competition, there's an invitational where it's a free day competition, more or less, but you just playing just for playing sake, just to promote the competition. There's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We played Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we lost Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Whoa, you serious? What, the process wasn't prepared?
It was. I wouldn't say there was I won't say we lost on purpose, but we really needed to have everybody understand what is required for them at that level. So I mean, during that competition, we played especially our bench players a lot, and we tried different things. We really wanted to just get a feel for all the other teams first, you know, and we were working on a lot, and I think it benefited us. Sometimes people say, I don't like losing. Anybody who knows me closely knows I do not like losing. But there is a lesson. There are lessons you can learn from a loss, and we did learn these lessons, and then it actually changed the mindset of a lot of the guys, and then, you know, anytime a mindset is changing, the culture starts to change. So then the culture started to change, and then I think we benefited from it because we undefeated so far. We don't want to jinx it, but that is our record so far, and we hope that it stays that way. So I must say I'm really proud of the growth that I've seen in all of these players, you know, from where we started to where we are now. The credit is not mine. I will not take credit for it. Like I said, it's Linzel, Clayton, Dorcas, and it's a team effort.
It's a team.
These are the guys that really
are hungry.
Yeah, and sad to say, we've been going to that competition year after year after year, and we've been losing year after year after year. And it's so sad, you know, to go every year and then you cannot bring that trophy home to the people of Soufriere. It's really disappointing. And even guys like Lindsay, I know, man, these guys have been playing for so long. We've been playing for so long, and then we cannot bring it. So sometimes to win a championship, everything has to align. And I think this year it looks like everything is aligning. We're not jinxing it by saying definitely now. We're saying we see a path, and that path this year has been a lot clearer than previous years.
Before. And I was already coming and say, well, come to think of it, looks like you're gonna reign supreme.
We don't want to jinx it. It's too early. Like I said, the two toughest teams left in the competition, we're about to play them, and we don't want to jinx it. We don't want to put nothing out there to give guys extra motivation. But at the same time, like I say, it's a control confidence. You have to be confident in who you are and your ability. So we're going to have our two toughest tests in the next two games. If all goes well, we hope that we can stay on top and we can come out on top by the end of that competition.
So prior to the upcoming games, how often do you guys practice?
Well, before the rain really started falling, we practice often enough. Like we practice on a Monday, then a Wednesday, a Friday, based on the schedules of persons. Oh, yeah, because you have guys working likewise.
Accountability.
So we've been trying to practice as often as we can. Right now, our practices are not as heavy as before because right now we are already so advanced in the competition. We're more or less working on strategies and whatnot, not necessarily basic stuff. We more or less just working on, okay, this team is coming up, this is the game plan, because every team is different. You cannot approach every team with the same game plan. Every team is different. So we're looking at strategy right now. So we had a practice on Wednesday night. We had a Tuesday night. We had a practice, and then we were just working on our strategy for the upcoming game on Saturday. And little known fact, we don't lose in Soufriere. I don't remember our last loss in Soufriere. This is our hometown. We just don't lose on that court, our home court. So I hope that record also continues. Yeah, we don't lose here. We don't at all.
Nice.
Yeah.
What 4 guys on? You're strong at your
Every year, I mean, we may lose when we go to up north, but we do not lose in Soufriere. And Soufriere, we actually one of the really good teams in the competition, even taking away our record, because a lot of the teams always look forward to playing us. They always look forward to playing us. There's just a vibe, I must say, about Soufriere. And I don't think it's just basketball. I think it's all sports, because we're just that good sometimes.
We make the game exciting.
That's
right.
right.
A bit challenging, formation-wise, everything.
Everything.
So like that. There are some fellas soft, we have to come out for them.
Yeah.
Fellas,
So we got real inspiration from our Soufriere footballers, I must say. Them winning the blanket, we got a real inspiration from these guys. It's sometimes it's eye-opening to see somebody do it. Somebody in the same situation as you do it, and you're like, yeah, but wait a minute.
Yeah.
If the Soufriere footballers can do it,
we too.
We can do it too.
Yeah.
And we did learn a lot of lessons from them, because as far as I understand, a lot changed with them also.
When you say change,
I mean the culture.
Okay.
I mean the culture and a lot of things change. Kudos to Mr. Sencha. A lot of things change. And sometimes they say insanity is doing the same thing over and expecting a different result. We kind of sat down, we looked at it, we're like, hey, we're doing the same thing over and over and over. So let's do something different. And we're doing something different, and we're getting a different result, and we hope that it continues that way.
Good. Well said. Hey, we have 10:30 in Soufriere St. Lucia and Eastern Caribbean. Folks, let me say good morning to Facebook. Shout out to all you in Radio Land. Hey, one way or another, you locked on. I'm here this morning with JD, all right, a.k.a. Blast, yeah, Junior Dennis, a.k.a. Blast. Of course, like you guys know him as the police officer. But he's here, like I mentioned earlier, in a different light. Of course, one of the 3 coaches of the Soufriere Kings. So we're talking about the upcoming tournaments. One is on Saturday.
Yes, we have a home game on Saturday.
Home game on Saturday.
Yeah, so there's 2 games in total, but we have
so we're calling everybody to come and support this venture. All right, come and help, come and cheer the fellas, come and show love, of course, support, appreciation for your own. So Soufriere basketball court opposite Aces Bar. Why Aces Bar? You guys are mad now.
Yeah, we should be having
some
some items on sale also, just to raise funds.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're hoping that we could get that going. But let's pray that the weather holds. That's the most important thing. Let's pray that the weather holds, that we can actually have that game.
So a rain game wouldn't be good?
Nah,
rain. Nobody to put stuff in the stands like...
Rain, you could probably get away with playing some amount of football in the rain, but when it comes to basketball, the court is just too slippery.
Okay.
And the ball will not bounce. The water will just keep it down.
Okay.
Yeah, so... Even moving forward, I mean, I must talk about the future. Like we have an abundance of riches right now when it comes to players. So we have a second team in the works, like I said, a B team, and that B team would consist of the young up and coming guys. So we want basketball to have a great future. I mean, basketball it used to be a big thing in Soufriere. I don't know if you remember that, but we want to bring back those days where basketball was really, really, really popular. Prior to COVID, we did have a local tournament, and I think that was one of the other things that really helped the development also. We did have a local tournament, I think that was in 2019 or 2018. A lot of the players that are now on the Soufriere side actually took part in that local tournament. So what we did at that time, we separated the senior players, like put 2 on each team. I think we had about 5 or 6 teams, and we did have a local tournament. So that's something else we might be looking forward to, being that we have so many young guys now interested in the sport. So and that helped shape the players that are playing right now. So I guess it's a grassroots effort. Sometimes you have to start at the basic, so that you could build something. And we all know what sports does for the community. It does keep a lot of young people out of trouble, because
brings us together.
Exactly, because for us, for you to play on the Soufriere basketball side, it's not about what you do on the court. What you do off the court matters also. What you do off the court matters also, and that's one of the things we really took it very seriously.
When you say off the court, in terms of having morals, principles.
Exactly. How you conduct yourself in the community matters to us. But I remember last year when we lost at the competition, we had guys mid-game, taking out the shirt and all that kind of thing. And I'm like, no. If you're going to wear the uniform that has Soufriere on it, you have to understand you're not representing yourself. Sure. You're representing the 20,000+ people that fall under the Soufriere banner. I take these things very, 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 very seriously when it comes to that. If you're representing your community, your workplace, your island, whatever it is, you have to understand it's not about you. And how you conduct yourself off the court is just as important as how you conduct yourself on the court. But I must say, so far, we've not had any big issues when it comes to that part of it on the court. So we're working on that to really eliminate that. You need to take pride. If you're playing for Soufriere, I don't care what you're doing for Soufriere, take pride in how you conduct yourself, especially off the court, because you have young players looking up to you, and you don't want young players thinking that they could conduct themselves in any way, shape, or form, and they could still put on the Soufriere jersey and represent the community. Now, the community will not stand for that, and neither will we.
They do emulate, especially when you're your biggest fan.
Exactly.
All what you do, they mirror it.
Yeah, because even in professional athletes, that's why they take it so serious. What happens to professional athletes off the court or off the field? I mean, it matters. So, especially sponsors, you have the names of sponsors that represent it, so we must represent their values also, their values likewise.
Facts. Of course, 20 minutes onto the hour. Anything that I miss? Anything you want to highlight?
I think we pretty much covered it all. We just want to let the community know that basketball is on the rise. Mm-hmm. Come support us tomorrow. Hopefully, like I said, the weather holds and we could have a great 2 games. And then I'm praying and I'm hoping that we could bring that trophy home where it belongs.
I like that. I like that confidence. Yeah, bring it home. Of course, so I just want to wish you and your team all the best.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, guys. Again, I know you want to thank persons, but I too want to thank her because, a lot of them youths couldn't be on the block.
That's true.
Doing God knows what.
Yeah.
A lot of them couldn't be wandering like Alice. You understand?
Yeah, that's
I like to think positively, but
yeah.
Let me not pretend that there's not some negativity vibe when it comes to that, all right?
Yeah.
And again, the way you speak, I always like how you talk. Very intelligent man, always looking in terms of professionalism and, of course, discipline.
That's very important.
Big up to you and your team on that. Again, kudos to you guys, kudos to all the guys. I want to say, let me say good morning to Luciana. Lucian, big up. She's like, good morning. Big up to Melanie Hippolyte. Congratulations to Soufriere Kings. Big up Kirby up top. Big up Michelle Love McKetney. Well, she just, don't worry, Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle, I must say a special outside, a special shout out to Michelle. She's almost like, when Michelle speaks, everybody stops and listens.
Right.
And we get that same vibe from her mom likewise. Yeah. I mean, she travels with us everywhere. I think she does our laundry, our uniforms, she always there to encourage us. Even, she's sacrificing her own time likewise. And we really want to give a special shout out to her. When she starts speaking, everybody just
standing ovation.
Just shuts and listen to what she has to say. She's very wise and she has that kind of calming, motherly aura about her when it comes to the team. So we appreciate her. We appreciate having her. Yeah, that's right.
Let me shout out to Lindell's mom. Hey, hi love, she know herself.
Yeah.
Over at Forbede in Soufriere. Okay? Jennifer Alsey. Big up yourself, Jennifer.
That's right.
Alsey. Alright? Again, I hear you shout out, you big up Michelle. Anybody else you want to touch base with?
Well, we have a few persons that used to be close to the team, so we asking them to reach out to us. We will be needing some help tomorrow evening in terms of the fundraising part of it. We don't want to burden players and coaches tomorrow with all of that. So if you're willing and you have some time, you want to contribute your time tomorrow, you could always reach out to Anthony. Oh, Anthony, our manager. How could I forget Anthony? At West, I guess you saved the best one. At West Tech. Oh, West Tech also. West Tech also sponsored us with some balls. Okay. There's this other guy. Oh Lord, I'll get you the name just now.
Slip your mind.
The Paradise owner, his brother. The one.
Billy.
Billy, that's right. Billy also donated some balls to the team.
Jersey Fever, that is right.
Yes. Yeah, so Anthony, I need to touch on Anthony. Anthony is our manager this year, and he's doing an excellent job. I must say that he's taken a lot of the load off of our back. A lot of the things that we used to be going out to get in terms of meals and for games and water and all of that and sponsorship, some of the sponsorship we got was through him and through Clayton. Yeah, so we must shout out Anthony also, man. He's doing an excellent. I guess he brought over the excellence from the football side into the basketball side. So I must shout him out. How could I, man? I'm very sorry, Anthony. I'm very sorry.
Well, like I said, I guess you had to save the best for last.
That's right. Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, man. Who's in there? Okay, best manager and for somebody saying from the credit, Daniel Bob.
Yeah, Mr. Bob also, and he's a former player too, you know. Yeah, Mr. Bob was a pretty good player, you know, in his days. Yeah, Mr. Bob from Jacques, you know, kudos to him for their support. And I'm just so happy that we can actually have something good to show for the support that they've given. Because sometimes even when you're running a business, sometimes it's so tight to be able to get these funds to actually support the team. But kudos to them that they made the sacrifice for us, and we'll try our best. We'll make our sacrifice from our end to see to it that whatever was given to us, that will multiply that.
I like that. Of course, folks, with that being said, I guess that's it for us.
That's it. And if I miss anyone, I'm very sorry if I miss anybody. There's anybody I should have mentioned that I did not. I'm very, very, very sorry for that.
That's small thing. You make a follow sign.
That's right.
Anyway, guys, of course, we want to thank each and every one of you for listening, taking time out. This right there was your Friday edition of House Guests. So, till next time, enjoy your Friday. Have yourself a safe weekend. All right? We out.